Welcome to Open Arms, an honest conversation about firearms. Hey everyone, I'm your host, Brian Lockerman, and we're finding more and more training facilities out in our area that I never knew existed. And it's really good to find these people because, again, when we get overwhelmed with our students, we'd like to find other places to put them. Today on my show, I have Mike Rowan from Triggerburst. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I've been hearing a lot of good things about your training course.
Yeah, we offer a wide array of training. In fact, next week, Monday, we're doing exposed carry for security guards,
Oh, nice.
and we do concealed weapons permit training. We requalify retired police officers for their annual. It's called HR 218, and a lot of private lessons, a lot of families coming in.
Oh, very good. Now, Mike, have you noticed more and more first-time gun owners coming your way?
A lot. In fact, probably since the Biden administration came in, I've really seen an uptick in firearm purchases. A lot of need for training, a lot of families coming in concerned with home safety. And so we do a lot of home invasion robbery scenarios and training for that.
That's very good. Very good. That's awesome. Yeah, and of course, when the pandemic hit,
Oh, it's nuts.
a lot of people changed their minds about self-protection, didn't they?
They sure did.
Yeah,
Yeah, we get a lot of folks that normally wouldn't own a gun buying a gun for the first time.
exactly.
Yeah.
Us too. That's been why I started this video podcast. It was for that reason. Of course, we had the show Open Arms going for a while, and that still is a big part of everything. To focus on gun safety, family, and the Second Amendment. But when this thing happened and there more and more people were buying these guns, I just thought that we needed more out there to expose people to how important gun safety is. So that's why I started this.
Primarily, yes.
Yeah.
I've had students come to me and bring a bag with a loaded gun in it,
Oh,
tell me their
lovely.
story of how they purchased it, took
Uh-huh.
it home, loaded it, and shot their dresser.
Oh my God, that's funny. Funny you told me that story because I was just on the Bryce Eddy show yesterday, and I was telling him about one of my friends who showed me he bought a gun, and I went up to his bedroom because he wanted to show me it. And I tell you, Mike, it was sitting on his nightstand, pointing at his head like he was sleeping, and there's
Wow.
one in the chamber.
Wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just stuff like that. Just I was like, no, we got to stop that.
Right. Yeah.
know.
Training is important. I'm not a complete liberal when it comes to this, but I
Mhm.
think everyone who buys a gun should be trained before they take it and load it for
Oh,
the first time.
1,000,000%.
So I'm not so sure it's a good idea to just be able to buy a gun and pick it up and take it home and
No.
load it.
No, I agree. I agree there 1,000,000%. And again, that's why we're focused on that. The more and more people that get that education, the safer they are. And we notice that this video podcast and our show is actually working. We're getting some really, really good emails from people that tell us that we were that person that threw their loaded gun in the bed. And now that I saw your podcast and I watched your show, I got training.
Good.
I'm safe now. And that's what we have to do. And guys like you and I have these training courses that are out there for the people to do that,
Mhm.
which I thank you for that.
Exactly.
Now,
Lots of calls every day.
exactly. Now, how long have you been in business out here?
Well, we've had Triggerburst open since 2012.
Okay.
We expanded in 2015. We have a 4,200 square foot training facility.
Nice.
It's probably the largest in the county. We have a shoot house, a huge training room. We have a simulator room. We use the Milo range, same range that law enforcement uses for simulated training.
Beautiful.
We have lots of classroom space, lots of availability for ranges. We use Angeles shooting ranges,
Okay.
and we also use locally Shooter's Paradise and Smoke and Barrel.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mike. I don't know if you know this, but I have a private range
Mm,
in Moore Park, and it's something I want to share with you too as well. We could talk about working something
sure,
out with you. Your classes coming out there too.
that'd be awesome.
It's real close, so it makes it nice being as private too as well.
Yeah.
But yeah. So where can people find you?
They can find me on the internet,
Okay.
triggerburst.com.
Triggerburst.com.
My phone number is 805 444 7311,
Okay.
and they can contact me anytime. I return calls within 24 hours. The compliments we get is we return phone calls or we answer right away.
Good.
A
Good.
lot of the instructors, unfortunately, either never return a call or never answer.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah.
Everyone, we'll post that on our Instagram too. How to find Mike here at Triggerverse. It's fantastic. Now let's go back. When did you ever get into firearms?
Oh boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I was raised on a farm when I was a
Really?
kid.
What part of the state? What?
Paso Robles. My dad had
Oh,
about a 4-acre ranch, so
okay.
we had cows and chickens and pigs and all that good stuff.
Nice.
And I got my first 22 bolt action rifle when I was 9 years old.
Really?
Now, I don't know that you'd give a 9-year-old a rifle nowadays, but we
Ah.
got a 25-cent allowance. And so we would buy a box of 25 cents worth of 22s. I'd buy a 50 in those days and go plink. And
Nice.
so that got me started in it when I was 9. Got into law enforcement at 21 years old. I actually started working juvenile hall at 18 years old, right out of high school.
Really?
I've been training firearms since 1987 with the Department of Corrections, and I've been to many shooting schools, lots of credentials. So it was natural when I retired from law enforcement to open up Trigger Burst and start that career.
Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds like similar to my upbringing too. 9 years old with a 22,
Yeah,
doing the plinking, and then from there, just as
yeah,
yeah, that was history.
quite a love for it.
I know it. I love it too. I love it. Okay, so now I know, kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but you say to me you might be moving out of the state of California.
Right. So lots of motivation to move.
Okay,
Politics in California are such that it's difficult to own a business. Number one,
that's true.
very expensive.
Yes.
The licensing required to do what I do has also gotten very expensive.
Hmm.
I am an ammunition vendor, and as you know, to be an ammunition vendor, you go through a lot of bells and hoops and whistles to get
Oh yeah.
that licensing. I've got to maintain those records for years. Starting on January 1st, we have to video and audio record every ammunition sale.
Really?
In fact, in fact, at my facility alone, I'd have to install 5 cameras. I'd have to have one at my front door, one in the parking lot, one at the point of sale with audio recording at the point of sale, one at my ammo room and safe.
You're kidding me.
And those have to run 24 hours a day, and you have to maintain those records for 5 years. Now, gun stores already do that, and friends of mine, I'll give a shout out to John Von Collin with VC Defense. I talked to him. He has stacks of terabytes of hard drives that he has to save for years.
I never knew that.
Very expensive. So I'm getting out of the ammo vending business.
Yeah.
I found a place here in Thousand Oaks. It's called Brass. Oh, I'm going to forget the name here in a second. They just opened.
Copper Jacket?
Copper Jacket.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Copper Jacket.
Yeah,
So
Kevin, good
Kevin's
friend of
the
mine.
owner.
Yeah, yeah.
And so,
He's on my show, by the way.
oh, good.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I just referred 1,700 students to him.
Really?
So I'm getting out of the business of selling ammo on site.
Okay.
I will still sell ammo at my ranges, so I'll maintain that license for the rest of the year, but I'm not going to transfer ammo anymore. It's just
No.
too expensive and too time consuming. So I'm sending everyone to Kevin.
Very good. And it's a shame that California does that to you,
That's
to a business like yourself, that you're just making a good living, you're paying your taxes, and they don't want to just keep gouging and gouging you. So that's the primary reason you're moving
Well, there's
out?
other reasons. For
Okay.
example, we used to do a lot of children and family classes, and as you know, the state of California does not allow us to advertise any classes to children.
I know.
And that hurt the business.
Mhm.
And so everything that our governor does gun related hurts my business.
Yeah.
And it hurts the people of California. They can't stay safe. They're afraid to buy guns now. What happens when they buy an AR-15? Even if it's modified to meet California
Right.
requirements, they
Exactly.
worry. We just had a carbine class on Sunday, and people brought their rifles up, and every single one of them asked me, "Is this gun legal here in California?" And
Yeah.
that's the concern. They're afraid they're
Uh,
going to go to prison over owning
I
a
know.
semi-automatic rifle.
I know it. I know it.
It's crazy.
It's horrible. And I know you saw the new modifications they're putting on, like a fin and all that crap. That makes the gun more dangerous.
I think so.
Oh my gosh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's absolutely
And you've heard
awful.
of the new legislation that's coming through.
What's that?
It'll be the 6th evil feature on an AR-15. You know the 5 evil features.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
What's it? There's a six now.
Sixth evil-
What is that?
Barrel shrouds.
You're kidding.
And even in the law, it describes the barrel shroud as that device that keeps the user's hand from being burned during use. I'm thinking that's a safety device, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, they're going to have you remove those, and you'll be able to put a handguard on, but it can only encompass half of the barrel, the lower half. So that means on an AR-15, your gas tube is exposed,
Oh my God.
and that's coming down the pike very soon.
Really?
Yeah, that's coming.
This is unbelievable.
So that'll be one more thing you'll have to remove from your rifle, or you'll be given a period of time to register it as an assault rifle.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
It's keep digging and digging.
Keep on digging.
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't blame it. So where are you heading?
Well, we're going to Tennessee,
Okay.
and so we're leapfrogging. We sold our house last year
Okay.
in Thousand Oaks. We've been renting for a year
Mhm.
in preparation to move to Tennessee. We already have rented a house in Tennessee. We're going to be in Spring Hill,
All right.
and we're going to search for that property that I can shoot on and hunt on and have a ball on.
That'd
So
be
I'll have a year to find that.
That'd be fantastic. Now, are you going to take your your trigger burst program out there?
I plan to. I'm still
Okay.
a USCCA instructor. I
Oh,
also
okay.
have all of my law enforcement instructor certifications, so I can roll into that there. I also am working with another company, a security company, to provide training for the schools and active shooter there in Tennessee. So
Nice.
we'll be working on that
Oh, very,
also.
very good. Very good. Very nice. Now, what about trigger burst? Is it going to be in someone else's hands or?
I'm hoping we have a few people looking at it very seriously.
All
Hopefully, I'll
right.
know by the end of July, hopefully. And if they can come up with the funds to purchase it from me, it's theirs, lock, stock, and barrel, except for the guns. I
Very,
take
very good.
those with me.
Very good. So let me ask you this: have you ever had any celebrities come through your course?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Uh-huh.
almost don't want to name drop.
That's no, no. It's okay. No, I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
We get
fine.
celebrities. We get
Uh,
the last woman I had plays a detective in a local, not local, but a TV show, a syndicated TV
okay.
show. And she had never touched a gun. And so now when I watch her on TV, she looks like she knows what she's doing.
Very good. See that?
We trained another woman who's in a movie. The movie didn't do real well, but it was fun to watch.
Uh-huh.
And I'll mention a name if you want.
It's up to you.
Okay, so it's Megan Fox.
Okay.
So we had her in 3 years ago. She trained with us for a week, and she then started the filming for the movie Rogue.
All right.
Didn't get a wide opening for that movie. It's not a bad movie. She handled those firearms like she knew what she was doing, and that's our goal. And so we don't get a Alec Baldwin happen on a set. We
Yeah.
teach the students to know what a live round looks
Hmm.
like and a dummy round and blank rounds and the other things that we use in the movies.
Yeah.
And that way they're responsible to make sure that those weapons are clear when they take them from the armor.
100%. And Mike, it's all about education.
Yep.
It's getting these people educated. Getting them trained. That's a key of everything here. It's just simple stuff like this. I don't know if you get these questions from first-time gunners, but simple stuff like this.
Mhm.
We get people coming. What's the difference between a revolver and a semi-automatic?
Mhm.
But that's good.
Yeah.
They're asking questions,
Yep.
and they're learning.
Yeah.
They're learning the operation of a firearm too,
Right.
how it operates. Ammunition. What's the difference between this 380 as opposed to this 45 and things like that? And then obviously the big one is being safe in their home if they have that gun in their home.
Right.
My trainers always go to their house and they always go through a whole day
Mhm.
of how to store that gun, how to retrieve that gun, where to put the gun, what the do's and the don'ts.
Mhm.
Because again, that's a big part of the training program too as well.
Absolutely.
We just want to keep people safe.
Yeah.
You know.
So I teach a little differently than most folks do. I like to start people off on revolvers because they're
Really?
the
Okay.
simplest gun to operate.
Yeah, yeah.
So my wife has a revolver. I have 4 of these LCRs by Ruger. They're a
Okay.
little 38 caliber 5-shot revolver,
Mm-hmm.
and they're easy to use. And so there's no learning curve to those at all. And then as people get better, when they step them into semi-automatics.
That's a good. I like that process. That's really good. Yeah, I could see how that would be. Because your revolver is. You're right. It's very simple.
Simple to operate.
Simple operate, and then you go into the semi-automatic.
Mhm.
One of the things which I just discovered yesterday, a lot of our females and maybe elderly females too that come to have their first time gun, and they're going with a semi-automatic. They're sometimes having a hard time
Right.
racking it.
Yeah.
Okay, I was reading Shooter magazine or whatever, just came in the mail yesterday or whatever, and there's a company called, I think it's EAA something like that. Oh my God, for the life of me I can't think of it. Anyways, always said to myself, someone should develop a semi-automatic like the little Beretta Tomcats with the flip-up barrel.
Mhm.
And they
Yep.
did.
Yep.
And they got it in a 380 right now, flip-up barrel.
Mhm.
So right there, someone has a hard time racking it, that's a perfect scenario.
Yeah, I like that gun. So far, it's reliable.
Yeah.
I think Beretta makes one, the
Yeah.
Tomcat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then there's another one that I saw in NRA magazine yesterday that's in 9mm that has a flip up barrel.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a very good, guns, engineered guns for people like that have a roar. Because I've seen one range like, doing that. And
They make devices to put onto the slide that make it a little easier to
Uh-huh.
pull back. So there's those workarounds. I
Yeah.
also recommend different firearms for different people.
yeah.
There's certain guns that, like the Smith & Wesson shields,
Mm-hmm.
very difficult to rack that slide
Yep.
for women. So the M&P 2.0 EZ came out, except it's not available in California.
Of course, it's not on the list, right?
So all the guns that are actually better engineered and are more safe are not available to Californians, which is nuts.
Yeah. Right.
So because Generation 5 Glocks, for example, are far superior than the Gen 3s, but that's all we can buy in California.
Yeah.
And Gen 3s are only still sold as a Glock armor, I can tell you, because 20,000 of those guns get sold a year here in California, so they have not broke the mold.
Hmm.
They've already broke the mold on the Gen 4s. They're no longer made. But they continue to make Gen 3s because of California.
California,
But
yeah.
Gen 5 is so much more superior firearm.
Yeah, it's ridiculous of the list we have out here. It is just so stupid.
It's absolutely
I
ridiculous.
know, just a money thing,
Yep.
money thing, and also to just keep pushing more and more guns out of our reach.
They're just going to chip away at the Second Amendment until we don't have it
That's all
anymore.
they do.
Or we'll still have it, but we won't be able to get a gun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what their goal is, you know. But you know what? The more and more we do this show, and the more and more people I meet. I mean, like I said, I've been having politicians, attorneys, trainers like yourself, and things like that. I'm seeing more and more support in owning firearms. In fact, it's not just the right that's buying the guns these days. We have a lot of people on the left jumping ship and coming and buying a gun, and you know, kind of realizing and waking up a little bit. You know, so I'm liking seeing that movement,
Yeah.
and hopefully that'll keep us stronger out here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a tough one, but you know, we're fighting a fight.
I had a security guard yesterday at Shooter's Paradise qualifying, and he sat and told me, he says, "Look, I'm a hardcore Democrat,
Mm-hmm.
but I love the Second Amendment." So
There you
those
go.
guys are out there.
They are.
Yeah,
They
they're
are.
moderates. They
Yeah.
get it, and I wish there were more.
Oh, I agree. I can, Mike. I'm still trying to find someone on to bring in a show on my show that's so anti-gun, so far left, and I want to have the debate, not just a nice, conversation.
Yeah.
So I went through my list of people that I knew, friends of mine that had been that way,
Mm-hmm.
and I started calling them. And I called one. Oh, Brian, I already bought a gun. I trained. I'm like that. I called two. Called it. They all got guns now.
Yeah.
You know, so it's been harder and harder to find that person that that doesn't
I'll
have a gun.
give you Gavin Newsom's phone number.
Yeah, there you go. Gavin
Get
Newsom,
him on the show.
yeah, Gavin or Adam Schiff, either one of those
Oh,
two,
yeah.
huh?
We start dropping names. Bonta.
Yeah,
Them,
yeah, there
right?
you go.
All of them.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Mike, again, I really do thank you for your program, your training facility. I really do hope that somebody does take it over
Me too.
because I hate to see it completely closed down.
We've got a huge footprint in this county, and a lot of folks. I've shed tears already with some of my students.
Oh, I'm sure.
Just
I
just
know
to
some of
move
your
away.
students, and they were. I had a bunch of your students
Yeah.
contact me saying, "You got to get Mike on your show. You got to get him on
Yeah.
your show." And I said, "Yeah, I definitely will. Definitely reach out to you."
Thank you.
But yeah, I definitely want to see that succeed still out here. What's the time frame? What are you thinking?
Well, hopefully, I'll be in Tennessee end of August.
Okay,
So we're shutting down probably end of July
Oh, you are.
and transferring the ownership over.
Okay.
Now, I plan to still come back occasionally and do
All
some
right.
guest training and things with some of my students and do some big range days. That'll happen definitely next year.
Okay.
But for now, we're still full steam ahead. I'm not shutting down my students just yet, but by the end of July, we're going to be pretty slow while
Yeah,
we
yeah.
transition.
Now, let me see. Do you have family and kids?
I do. My son lives in, he just moved to Indianapolis.
Okay.
And my daughter lives in North Carolina near
All right.
Raleigh. And why stay here? I've got no ties
There
anymore,
you go.
right? So
Now, how was family life growing up with your kids? Did you teach them gun safety? Did they shoot with
my
you?
son's a Marine.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah,
Well,
I
thank
remember my
him for
daughter.
his
Oh, you're
service.
welcome.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks. Well, his mother was a Navy. So
Really?
yeah, so I introduced Corey to firearms young. I had him shooting golf balls at probably 10, 11 years old with a 22
Really?
and put him on a shotgun the first time when he was about 12. And he managed that pretty well. And then he
Nice.
becomes a Marine and fights for our country.
Very nice.
And then my daughter is working with animals, doesn't really care for guns that much,
Okay.
but she liked to shoot.
Okay.
Took her out and shot.
Yeah.
So
That's good
yeah, it's
family
good.
values. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
I love hearing that. That's what again what our show's about. We stress on family values. And you brought up golf balls. Can I just tell you a little story
Sure.
about me? Okay, I used to be able to do this. I tried not too long ago. I can't do it anymore. I don't know. I lost my touch or whatever. But back in the day when I was really shooting a lot and really had a, I was doing excellent. I would take two Beretta 92 FSs.
Uh-huh.
Okay, 3 rounds in each, one in each hand. I'd set up 6 golf balls on tees, about maybe 25 yards away. 20 yards, maybe. Yeah, not 25, it's about 20. And I'd sit there, and first of all, I'd practice with cover my thumbs, peripheral. I'd stare straight and just do that. So I'd take the 2 Berettas and go, bam, 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 and shoot all 6 golf balls like that
Nice.
simultaneously. I used to be able to do that. I would show people, and they'd be super
Yeah.
impressed.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could do. I couldn't do anything else besides that for some reason. I just trained myself to do that. I tried it recently, and I failed, but I got to get back at it again.
Well, it's a perishable skill.
Yeah, yeah.
One thing I noticed, I learned this a few years ago. I was at a combat school, and the instructors didn't have firearms on. They weren't wearing guns. Usually, instructors have their battle belts on and all their gear. And I asked one of the instructors, he says, those just tie you down. If you need a gun, you've got 8 guns on the line, borrow
true.
one.
That's
And
true.
it turns out when you become skilled in firearms, it doesn't matter which gun you pick up to demonstrate. You have the basic skill set, you're going to hit that golf ball.
That is right.
So I do like the Beretta 92 FS. I have one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're nice.
You know what? It's something about that gun that I am so accurate with it. I don't know why. I think it's because I've had one for years and years and years. Don't get me wrong. I love my USP HK. I do have some Glocks and things like that. I can just group my Beretta like there's no tomorrow. I pull my Glock out. I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
I just, it's kind of like, one of those just personal feels for me.
For defensive shooting, none of that matters.
Exactly.
You want to pop 2 rounds in the chest as quick as you can.
That's it.
And so you don't have to shoot buttons off a shirt when you're talking about defending your home.
I know it. Now, Mike, have you ever seen like any of our PSAs we've produced about all these laws are passing?
I've seen a couple of them. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. Again, I just think we want to show that to people. When people see that, the first one we did about the high capacity magazines,
Right.
it went viral.
Yeah.
People were just like, "Oh my God! I mean, what are we doing here?" In fact, a lot of training programs have used that PSA to show their students and things like that. This is the stuff we have to stop.
Right.
Who's it affecting?
Right.
Affecting the law-abiding citizen.
None of the laws are preventing crime.
Absolutely not.
I do want to stress that I've had a couple of my CCW students lose their CCWs this past couple of years.
Really?
Because they improperly stored their firearms in their vehicles.
Oh.
And they got their guns stolen. Back when I was a parole agent, we pulled guns off the street in the 80s. They would be rusty. They would have duct tape around their handles. They sometimes had the wrong ammunition.
Oh my God.
Nowadays, these criminals have very nice guns, and
Yeah.
they're getting them from us because we're not storing them properly. And that's another thing we stress too in training.
That's it.
You've got to store these guns because they're going to burglarize your house sometime.
Yep.
It's going to happen.
Yep.
And if they can just lift a box up off the floor, you haven't bolted that box to the floor to a wall, they're just going to walk away with it. Or if you improperly store it in your vehicle, they're going to take it.
Yeah.
And if you follow the Ventura County Sheriff's blogs and look at all the pictures of everything that's been taken recently, piles of fentanyl, cocaine, drugs, money, gang members, and brand new shiny guns, lots of them.
Oh, man.
They're all chambered in the right calibers, and they're taking them from us.
Yeah.
So that's one of my big pet peeves is when I see people walk around and I ask, where did you put your gun? And they say, well, I put it under the front seat of my car. It's not in a locked container?
Yeah.
No, it's fine. My car's locked.
Yeah,
no, it's not fine.
Exactly.
So please don't let bad guys take your guns. It hurts us.
It does.
It does. It gives the left a lot more fodder against us.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to do a better job. We need to be more diligent in our work, safety, training, storage of firearms.
There you go.
That way we can enjoy our constitutional right to carry.
There you go. That's why I put this project together.
Good.
I want to teach people out there the importance of this gun safety. We all love shooting.
Yeah.
We all love it, but let's be safe about it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's what it's all about. All right, Mike. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. Now, one more time, where can the people find you again?
Well, we are Trigger Burst. We are located in Newbury Park, California. We have a website, it's triggerburst.com. My phone number is 805-444-7311. I answer it if I can. If I don't be upset. I'm usually at a range where I can't answer the phone. I don't have any employees. Another problem with California, it's just too expensive to hire one person. I wish I could. Just someone answer my phones. But I will get back to you right away. Our prices are very reasonable. We do a 2-hour new gun ownership course. It's an hour at my facility where we learn how to use the firearm properly. And then we spend an hour at the range where you get to shoot it and learn some basic skills, get you ready to load that gun at home and not shoot your dresser.
Very good. And then the second thing is, when you get to Tennessee, I would like to also share that with our audience as well. We have a lot of people, a lot of connections out in Tennessee and things like that. So when that happens, we will post that and give you guys all the contact for his Tennessee location as well.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I can start something like this through you.
That'd be
We
fantastic.
can do
Yeah,
something from Tennessee.
there you go.
Add that to it.
That'd be brilliant.
Good.
Well, again, Mike, thank you very much. I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
having you come on the show. It's been a pleasure. Well, that's our show for today. And remember, you can find us on Instagram at openarms.tv. Go to our YouTube channel, Open Arms TV. Comment on this show. Comment if you want to be on any of our shows. We're also on Rumble. And the last thing, but not least, remember safety, family, and the Second Amendment. Have a good day.
Amen, brother.